What's up, everyone? This is Justin Taylor with Rock Title, and you're listening to Anyone Can Be a Rock Star, a ROC University podcast. Listen weekly as we sit down with industry top producers and leaders to discuss the ideas, the opportunities, and the strategies that ultimately led them to success in their business so you can do the same. And today I'm super excited to be with Morgan Hodges and Josh Hintzen, mega agents and the founders of the MoJo Team here in Scottsdale, Arizona. These two guys have grown a very successful real estate business and team, so I can't wait to dive in. Thank you both for taking the time to be here today.
Thanks, Justin. Yep, happy to be here.
Yeah, appreciate it. So before we dive in, and for those listening, can you give us a brief overview of who the MoJo Team is and how or when you both decided to join forces and create a real estate team, and maybe some key team stats or accolades? Josh, you want to jump in first?
Well, actually, a lot of people don't know this, but Morgan and I actually met in real estate school back about 18 years ago now. It doesn't seem like 18 years, but a lot of time has flown by since then. But we actually met in real estate school. I went into commercial for my first year. Morgan went right into residential. This was back in 2004 and 2005. And then as the real estate boom started taking off, I saw him and everyone else in residential making a lot of money and having a lot of success. And so Morgan and I, we were friends at the time. I said, hey, let's join forces. And we've been teamed up ever since. And then in the last, probably 7-8 years, we, formed a team and started growing the team, from just us two and a transaction coordinator to where we are now.
That's awesome. Morgan, do you want to add anything to that?
No, that pretty well sums it up. Like I said, we started out with just a transaction coordinator and really working together on our business, but then worked on bringing on additional. We brought on our first agent, I think in 2014, and then really just put the systems and processes in place and really grew the team from there.
Yeah, definitely. From my perspective and working with you guys for a while now, the processes and all the different systems that you put in place have really, helped your agents kind of skyrocket their business in a sense. I mean, I know we talk about Brandon and things like that, but, really can take what you guys have implemented and implement it in their business as well. So can you talk a little bit about the volume wise?
Yeah.
How many transactions maybe you guys and
Certainly. Last year our team did 126 transactions for 113 million. We did that with Josh and I, and then also 14 additional agents contributed to that. So, but really what it is and what got us going is Josh and I realized as we worked and kind of struggled through the business through those early years, how much and how long it took us to figure it out in many ways. And as we really had great success in 2012, 2013, 2014, we realized all the mistakes that we had made and also understood that there were agents out there making those same mistakes and not implementing the right practices and doing the right activities to be successful. And that really fueled us and drove us to build out the team, knowing how many agents we could help really achieve greater success faster.
Yeah, we realized that there were new agents that were kind of stumbling through the business and a lot of agents actually failing out of the business. There's some stat out there that 95%, 98% of agents fail out within the first 2 years of being licensed. And we knew how that felt as far as kind of stumbling through. So we wanted to design a team to where we could help not only newer agents, but also experienced agents who are, maybe doing $3, $4, $5 million in transactions per year, but they can't figure out how to get to that next level, that $8, $10, $15 million level. And so we've been helping experienced and new agents get through all those growing pains and really launch their career into a whole nother stratosphere.
Yeah, to that point, it's interesting because, and you guys can probably agree with this, is that $5 to $6 million range, right? How agents kind of stumble into that and strategy and things like that, but then doubling that, right? Taking that from 5 to 6 to 10 to 12 seems to be such a struggle. And obviously, joining a team that has system and process in place can really help that. And delegating, I think that's one of the biggest things us as agents struggle with, being able
Yeah.
to delegate certain processes and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is obviously just the leverage the team has, where any agent can join the team and use all, use all the marketing, all the systems, all the processes, and focus on selling and making connections and building relationships, and let us, handle the paperwork, handle the marketing, handle all the things that us agents don't really want to do and don't enjoy doing them, and they don't really make us any money as agents. And so being able to provide all of that to our agents at very fair splits and let them, just work and focus on building their business and building their wealth is ultimately our goal and what we've been achieving with all of our team members.
I love it, guys. So before we dive in a little bit deeper, we're going to talk more about strategies and things like that coming up. But I would love to see, your thoughts on the shift in the market that we've experienced here in the Valley. I mean, obviously, nationwide thing has been happening, but your guys' thought on how the market shifted and kind of where you think it's heading to. Morgan, you want to start with that?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, both Josh and I really saw this shift and we're living it in real time, but also understood what was happening. Both of us were agents back in 2007, 2008, and experienced that shift in the market. There were aspects that certainly felt very similar, and even just watching the weekly active listing count climbing by first 500 more a week and then 1,000 a week. So we saw the shift and really started coaching around it. That being said, a shifting market is nothing to be afraid of as an agent. Do your tactics need to change? They certainly do. We've been coaching and telling our agents, hey, for the last couple of years, the getting was good. It was quite easy. There were a lot of agents who were just kind of tripping and stumbling over transactions. And what it really is now is this market helps separate those who truly are treating it like a career and a profession versus those who are just kind of dipping their toes in. And as agents, we wear a lot of hats in many cases, but it requires some focused energy and efforts to really be successful. And a shifting market is a land of opportunity for those who know how to attack it and where to put their efforts. But for agents who, frankly, are in some ways trying to do it all on their own and figure it all out on their own, they are going to struggle in a market like this. And many, frankly, will fail out of the business. I mean, it's sad to say, but it's happened before. It'll happen again. But those agents who, seek out some coaching, some mentorship, and some training and just ways from either those who have done it before or those who really understand the market and how to be successful, those are going to be the agents that thrive and succeed.
Definitely. Josh, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good time for agents to become better agents, because it's not easy where you just grab a client, they want to see a house, they want to write an offer, full price or over list and waive all contingencies. That's easy. In a normal market or a shifting market, it's a lot more challenging to put deals together and keep them together. And so, like Morgan was saying, it's really going to separate the great agents from the not so great. And it's a good time for those agents that are maybe they just got into the business in the last couple of years and all they know is a really hot seller's market. It's an opportunity for them to learn and really hone in on what it means to be a real estate agent and get great at negotiating, get great at scripting when it comes to calling leads and generating leads and how to hold successful open houses. I mean, there's so many different areas of being a real estate agent that now is like a really good time to strengthen all those areas, and just, I don't know. I'm excited. Like Morgan said, it's a really fun time in the market, and like Morgan said, it's not a shifting market. Isn't a bad market. It's just different, and that's okay.
I really think today's market is all about value, right? It's all about the value you are bringing to the client. And when the market's hot, it's less important. Or you don't have to work as hard to provide and demonstrate that value. But now, as more and more agents are clamoring for fewer deals, a few less transactions, it really is going to boil down to the value you bring and your knowledge, your experience, and what you're doing for that client, that customer on a daily basis.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think, like you said, in a hot market, it's easy to sell really anything just because it's selling. But, in my trainings in the last several weeks, a couple months, it's definitely, you have to have a solid listing presentation. You have to have, right? We have to do the things that we know we need to do in order to actually serve our clients, provide that value, and sell homes. So what's interesting too is, in a shifting market, we always see agents start to shift as well in terms of, joining a team or different brokerages, or they're trying to figure out where they're going next to be able to keep their business going. And there's obviously a lot of pros and cons when an agent, is deciding to join a team or not. So there's a lot of power. Obviously, we know that a team can provide agents. Can you break down some of the key reasons why an agent should consider joining a team, or may join your team, or where you've seen success?
I think it's a no-brainer. I think that, being a solo agent out there is really tough, because you go on vacation, all your listings go on vacation, your clients go on vacation, so I think that the value a team can provide, a great team, I'm not just saying any team. I know there's a lot of teams out there where you join it and maybe you don't get a lot of value, you don't get a lot for maybe the splits that you're on, but being on a great team where you can leverage that team and go out and double, triple, quadruple your business. Like I said, I think it's a no-brainer. I always joke that if I were to move to another state and get my real estate license, the very first thing, even though I'm a seasoned agent, I've been doing this for 18 years now, that I would actually find a powerhouse team and go join the team and learn from them everything, about the area, about the market, about what they're doing to be successful, instead of trying to pound the pavement and figure it out myself. But, as far as some things that we provide, I think one of the best things that we provide is that with our team, we actually customize how we coach and train each team member to whatever their goals are. So we have some team members that only want to sell 3 or 4 houses a year, and that's okay. And we have other team members that want to sell 30 or 40 houses a year, and that's great. It doesn't mean that we can't support the 3 to 4 team member or the 30 to 40. We literally customize how we coach, how we train, what recommendations we make based on what their goals are, and then just support them in every way possible.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of maybe loosely knit teams out there that that kind of operate and call themselves a team, where it's really 2 people in an office, or and that's a completely different structure. I mean, we really, with our team, we break it down and also base it around, some of the main points that you really get from joining a team. And one of them, of course, is training and coaching, mentorship, whether it's one-on-one mentorship or ongoing trainings from agents that are active in the market at all times. And then also, like Josh said, that customized one-on-one coaching to where really diving deep into your business. There's a lot of credibility that agents get from joining a powerhouse team. As you're one agent and you have a listing here or a listing there, you're really an unknown virtual agent, where you don't have any brand recognition, you don't have any notoriety in the marketplace. When you team up with a known team and your potential clients are now seeing this brand all over the valley, they're driving down the street and they said, "Hey, I see one of your signs." It's probably not your listing, but it's one of your team that they recognize, and that just brings it up, keeps you top of mind, helps you do more deals. Also leads, that's the other thing. Leads are extremely expensive in today's market, in every market. But if you can work with a team that is already has a system in place for not only gathering those leads, but then providing the systems and platforms to work them efficiently and effectively, that alone will add to your business. To anyone who's putting the right efforts into that, you are going to start building out your sphere as you bring more people in, and then they refer next. And we really think about it as a tree and it garnering fruit from that tree, because every client is really the trunk of that tree, and all of their sphere of influence and everyone else is the potential for you to harvest that fruit by building lasting relationships with each client.
And I just to add on that, I would say that the support, obviously, that we provide to all of our team members, I think is huge. But, having that accountability, to where we're encouraging and motivating, for you to be your best self and be the best real estate agent you possibly can. I think that's huge. Just getting that little extra, come on, you can do it. Just having a cheerleader in your corner that is encouraging you to, maybe you're holding one more open house, or maybe you're, making 10 extra calls, a day, or whatever the situation may be. But, just to have someone there that truly cares about you and your business, and helping you get to the, hit your goals and get to the level that you want to be at.
Yeah, and just to add one last thing, the reality is we're creatures of motivation and momentum, right? And you cannot help but have more success when you are surrounded by those being successful. So if you're surrounded by people who are putting in the efforts and are out there looking to help people and are going through the motions and doing the daily activities it takes to be successful, that can't hurt but rub off on you a little bit. And so I would say to anyone out there who is listening to this, as we know, is you want to surround yourself with people who are successful, who have a success mindset, who are thinking about new ways to innovate, to be better agents, to be better humans, and doing so on a daily basis. Avoid the negative, individuals in the bullpen or in other areas of the office. Seek out those who are being successful, have a success mindset, and then do what they are doing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it really, the takeaway is probably one of my favorite words in this business is leverage, right? So leveraging the team as in the technology that you provide, the tools, the coaching, and really the systems and successes that you guys have had, and truly implementing it into their business with them. So I think that's all great. Pivoting slightly, I want to make sure that we touch base on where you both have found success, whether individually or as a team. I'd be curious individually, and can you share where, I'm always curious about where your main source of business come from, right? So we talk about things like past clients, sphere of influence, open houses, internet leads. Can you guys touch base a little bit on that?
Sure. Yeah, for me, it's about 50-50 coming from SOI and the other 50% coming from leads. And I would say that where a lot of the success comes from is just caring, as maybe cliche and cheesy as that sounds, but genuinely caring about the person and about what their goals are and what they're hoping to do. And just if it's not the right house for them, say, hey, you know what? I don't quite think this is the right one. Let's keep looking, and not be focused on the commission check. I just know that if I do an amazing job and really just kill it for my client, that the checks will come. The money will always be there if you just put your heart and soul into what you're doing. So I know that sounds a little, like I said, cheesy, but it's the truth. It's just, you gotta care.
Yeah, relationship business for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would say, just on that note, we do both work an SOI business that we work on cultivating in that too, but also we're a firm believer in continuously flooding in, new lead sources in that too, and where we have had a lot of successes. Like I said, each of those new potential people are your future SOI. what is a lead today is your top referring client next year. And so it's another way to kind of look at it. People say, oh, I don't want to work leads and different things like that. But that's a very limiting belief. There's a lot of really great people out there. And that's what's super awesome about this business is you get to know and interact and you meet people that, frankly, if you were working another job, you might not have had a chance to ever come across them, And so you work it long enough, you meet CEOs and business owners, doctors and lawyers, and you name it, and just really great people who are dedicated to what they do, and working hard for them, like Josh said, and just putting your heart and soul into it, and really caring about them and their goals throughout the transaction, and then afterwards, can't help but lead you to greater success.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I was going to say, for anyone who says that they don't want to work leads, it's like saying like, oh, I don't want to work with buyers and sellers who need my help and want my help. It's like, well, then,
right.
Sometimes it's just a mindset.
Might not be the business for you.
No, exactly. Yeah, correct. Are there going to be people that will maybe come into one of our websites and maybe they tell us to get lost or don't call me, take me off your list, whatever? Sure, absolutely. Like that's extremely common and that's okay. We don't need to work with those people. We don't want to work with those people. We want the people that are like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You're the first real estate agent that's actually answered the phone. This is what, I need help with it. This is what I'm looking for. And I mean, those are the most amazing people. And some of those people have become our closest friends. We've gone to weddings. We've gone to birthday parties. I think people have limiting mindsets, like Morgan said, that when they say they don't want to work leads, there's something behind that as to why they don't want to work with people that need your help.
Yeah, and you don't really know what, each opportunity can lead you to. So it's in my mind, it's always curious, like, of course I want to, dive into this and see who knows what it's going to lead to, right?
Sure.
I mean, whether it's your business or like you said, now you're at weddings and now you're networking, you don't even realize you're networking and it just kind of a domino effect from there. So Josh, what would be, we talked about the benefits of a team, but what would be your best advice for any new agent that's trying to find their way in this business? And, we're saying maybe new as in the last 2 years, because like we said, in a hot market, it's easy.
Yeah, I would say, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but, go find an amazing team. I don't care what the team is. I don't care what state you live in. This is not, this has nothing to do with me or our team that we run. But if you're a new agent in the business, go find an amazing team that you really connect with, that that they're going to help you grow your business and that you're really going to thrive, with them, and join the team. And even if you join the team for a year or two and then you decide that you're going to go off on your own and do your own thing, that's totally fine. But if you're new in the business, I mean, it's super challenging to try and navigate, especially a shifting market. So that'd be my advice. And the second thing I would say is listen to a lot of podcasts, listen to a lot of videos or watch a lot of videos and try to consume as much content as you can, but not just consume it, put it into action. I mean, if you're just listening to content all day long, that's great. But if you never actually put into play what you're listening to and what you're hearing, then, what's the point? You're just wasting your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there can be an overload of information, and one of the great books that we've recommended to our team, and that's the thing. Both Josh and I are readers. We not just reader because there's so many, like I said, great podcasts and YouTube videos and different things. But it does take action. It definitely takes action, and you need to really distill it and find action items from any content you consume. Otherwise, it's more just entertainment. But back to the book, one of the books we've always really liked is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. It's just such a great building block book for anyone starting a new venture. He talks a lot about the effort and energy that you're going to be putting in up front, but if you do so and continuously, success will follow. And it's such a great book around mindset and the efforts that you really need to put in, especially as a newer agent. So we recommend that to all our team members early on.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think too, it's interesting you said that because Eric Sachs, who's the CEO and founder of Breakthrough Broker, is actually going to do a training with ROC University on September 15th, and it's going to be about the compound effect. Okay. So it'll be very cool to hear that from. But you guys had mentioned obviously action, like a lot, right? We can learn everything we want to learn or consume as much content, but it really comes down to the action, which is definitely what I have tried to implement in the agents that I encounter with ROC University and any trainings that I do. Really is action enabled learning, right? So they're leaving that room with something done, whether it's you sent out 10 CMAs or you reached out to your database or whatever it is, but really taking that step to time block and actually do the work. Consuming the content is important, obviously, but then we have to definitely implement it for sure.
Yeah.
Morgan, so we know strategy is a huge part of our real estate business and really any business in general, especially navigating the changing market. What would you say has been the best marketing strategy you found, now or in past careers?
Yeah, and with us too, marketing, we market like any other real estate team and that too, but we always caution our agents, to really weigh the pros and cons, and we help really explain that the difference between marketing and prospecting. Marketing is a very passive endeavor. You're sending out postcards, you're doing a mailer in hopes that one day someone will pick up and call you on the phone and see your marketing. But individuals are flooded with marketing these days, and it's very hard, and it's a very expensive and long process that leads to very little results. So we don't recommend a lot of marketing. Now, today in social media, if you can do a lot of free marketing, that's great. And we definitely encourage that, provide tools around our agents to do so, because that's probably some of the best marketing you can do if you're going to market. But we coach and we train our agents around you really have to prospect. You want to be prospecting 80% of the time and marketing 20% of the time. And what we mean by prospecting is new reach outs, contacts, that can be open houses are a great way, but also some of your clubs or your organizations, whether it be church or your kids' soccer team, and just different ways. Real estate is about connecting with people, and you need to find new ways to connect with people and be able to bring real estate into the conversation at some point in time, and then just kind of get that word out there. And you can connect with them through social media and other ways, but face-to-face connections are best. And so when you get the opportunity to do those, you certainly want to take advantage of that.
Definitely. Josh, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything Morgan said, that not only can, with marketing, it takes a long time, but it's also very expensive. And when we're talking about like mailing flyers or postcards or some big marketing campaign, usually it's pretty expensive. But social media is great, because if you send out a postcard, someone they'll read it, maybe 2 seconds later they toss it in the trash. At least with social media, it's a little bit more connecting. You can actually shoot some videos and maybe they'll watch 30 seconds, a minute of whatever content that you're putting out there. But I would say that our team members have had the most success with social media. Certainly we have team members that will door knock and they'll flyer and they'll farm and everything else, which is great. It's just it takes a long time. It's a long game, and you have to have the bank account and the budget to do it. And once again, we love being proactive and making phone calls, going to open houses, even door knocking is great because at least you're getting in front of someone and can have a conversation with them. It's just when you're mailing stuff, people are getting, junk mail every single day and from probably 10 other real estate agents too. It's a really, it's tough to get someone to call you off of that flyer.
Yeah, and to dovetail on that again too, is we still believe that marketing is really about delivering value. The consumer wants value. They just don't always want to see, a photo of your new listing or other things. And so even when it's on social media, they want some value, whether that's a market update, a market report, maybe a review, some of your personal insights and opinions. Those are the things that I think are valuable these days to the consumer. And sometimes that print marketing just falls a little flat in some of those areas. For newer agents especially, I think you're certainly a little better off trying to, build a little more social presence, do things that you personally, if you were sitting at home, would find of value, and work on putting that out there.
Yeah, I think that, talking about the digital footprint, right? So like social media is the digital version of door knocking or farming and things like that, if you can leverage it in that way. But it's interesting because obviously so many people are on social media, but it even gives you different things like birthdays and things like that you can follow up to. You mentioned video, which is something I'm super passionate about in my trainings, and we're going to talk about that in just a few. So all great stuff. Morgan, we've talked a little bit about strategy. Let's shift over to technology. So we know technology has really changed our industry in a lot of different ways. What has been your favorite and most successful piece of technology that you've maybe implemented yourself or as a team?
Yeah, I would say, I really think every agent needs a great CRM. They need a client database where they have somewhere to enter notes about those they're interacting with, something that can, birthdays and everything else, and then really using it. And one of the things new agents can do that can be extremely successful is just focus on adding potential prospects, anyone you might think who would buy, sell, or refer you business, in the near future, where you have their contact info, and adding them and building out your database. So it's really a good CRM to start, that you can utilize to enter people's info and then use to help you keep track of everyone that you're connecting with.
And I really like, I think we're going to see more of this again, is the Matterport and the 3D renderings and the ability to be able to walk the house, and see every square inch of the home without actually being in it. Mm-hmm. I just think that's where things are going. We'll all have the headsets and be able to get on there and check it out. And once you find a house that you love, then at that point in time, you actually go and see it in person. But I think that's just a really cool tool, and we'll see more and more of that as the years go on. But obviously, the one piece of technology that I think we could all agree would be the smartphone. As far as I don't even know how real estate agents did it without a cell phone before. As far as meeting clients, and being able to stay in touch with each other and not having to go back to your office and make phone calls. Just how handy the phone is. Even with just getting in the lock boxes and getting that real-time data, it's obviously
maps, navigation. There's so much within that. I don't know how we ever lived without it before.
I don't know how. I don't know either. It's just But by far, that has made our lives as real estate agents like 10 times easier.
The payphone people they're disappointed, but the rest of us are thrilled.
The pagers.
Yeah, the pagers and the
pager days.
It's star 911. Call me immediately.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, Morgan, you mentioned CRM. I truly believe that too, because I think that's, in my opinion, I think it's the number one asset in any real estate business is a CRM. And that's something that, of course, you guys probably see it too. Anytime you meet with agents, do you have a CRM? Do you have a database? Where's it at? It could be, I've used 3 different ones. I don't like any, or I have an Excel spreadsheet, which I appreciate an Excel spreadsheet because it's easy to digest. But when you talk to them about, they don't know who to add in there. So I always set a goal of, you're typically in my meetings, like 50 people, to start with in your database, and the big eyes and I don't know 50 people. But, as you start walking down that path to kind of get them added in there, they're like, oh yeah, that's not that bad. But I would agree on that, and definitely the cell phone is a huge part of it, especially when you're out with clients, to be able to pivot quickly if other listings, and just having all those apps downloaded and things like that to make the experience a lot better, for sure.
Yeah, even being able to call the listing agent right then and there and have a conversation about the property and ask them questions with your clients right there in the house. I mean, like I said, I don't know how agents did it beforehand.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. So, Josh, I talk a lot about video at ROC University. I know we just talked a little bit about this, and how important it is for agents to adopt it into their business. So, there's a stat with NAR that they released that 51% of home buyers use YouTube as their number one destination when researching homes, which I think is kind of shocking to a lot of people. But as we know, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, right behind Google. Google owns YouTube, so essentially the same thing there. Would you guys agree that video can be a huge benefit to agents?
Oh, absolutely. And actually, Morgan and I, we were joking about this earlier, that we've been talking about this since 2012, as far as shooting more videos and being on YouTube. And we did launch our YouTube channel, but there's definitely a lot of content that we should have added and we will add. We've just been so busy with other marketing ideas and building out the team and successfully putting the right systems and processes in place. But now that we've got a lot of that really well oiled, now it's time to shoot more videos and deliver more content. But yeah, I mean, I just think that all agents should be shooting video, and like Morgan said, you've got to be delivering value. It can't just be, here's 123 Main Street, check out my new listing. There has to be something behind it to really get people to watch it and engage with it. Otherwise, I mean, you're just one of a million real estate agents that's showing off your brand new listing or your pending listing or your just sold listing.
Yeah. Video is such a key tool, and I would say overall, we've done pretty good, but there's still so much more. That's the thing with video and media is you can be on there 24/7, but there's still more you could do. I mean, there's an endless supply of topics and everything else, but and I know that overwhelms some agents, but you eat an elephant one bite at a time. The videos aren't going to shoot themselves, but it does allow you to leverage yourself so much more. Video or platforms like this give your clients, your customers, an opportunity to get to know you a little bit, to see your personality, to see your mannerisms, like I said, and relate with you and connect with you. We've connected with people who have watched several of our videos, and it's like a deep connection, like pretty instantly. I've never met them before, but they've actually seen Josh and I on video and seen us, and that just like when you're watching a TV show and you start to feel you get to know that actor a little bit, like you could walk right up to him and just say, hey, I'm so and so. That's the same connection your clients can build with you if you're delivering some value through your videos and other things. And I think that, along with if you are going to market and do some social media and stuff, can help you as a newer agent start to build a brand, build some name recognition, find some things to talk about, find some ways to deliver value, and then get to work, do the work.
Yeah, agreed. I think too, it's, anytime I train on videos, it's always the objections, right? So we take a period of time to talk about those objections. I don't like the way I look on camera. I don't like the way I sound. I don't know how to edit, things like that. So kind of working through that, getting past, I think everyone can agree we're our biggest own critics, right? So nobody sees the things that we start picking out about ourselves and things like that. But, and to your guys' point, the value part of it, if you're providing that value, it's such a huge benefit to your business and the consumers to be able to see that. I remember when I was doing trainings when the first Paradise Valley here in Arizona redevelopment was happening. And I was, thinking, why aren't there agents out there standing in front of there, taking a video, talking about the redevelopment or, certain things like the homestead law change that we saw earlier this year, right? I mean, you could have talked about things that actually affect, you know, consumers, clients, buyers, and sellers in this market. So there's endless amounts of topics. We just have to get over that, you know, little hurdle of, you know, what I sound like, what I look like, and all that.
Yeah, we just talked about this with some of our agents the other day, and I told them, I said, hey, look, like we were nervous the first time we shot videos. Like I mean, we've all been there, and you know, I just recommended, hey, take a camera, take a selfie stick, you know, take your cell phone and hold it in front of you, walk through a house, shoot the video, and if you have to do it 100 times, that's fine. But the more times you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get. You know, the more it's going to flow, the more natural you'll feel. And so even if you're at the same house and you have to do it over and over and over and over and over again, you're one step closer to being more comfortable and shooting really good content. And I'd say the other point is don't watch the video after you shoot it. Like just
Absolutely.
Like
Yep.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
Not the first few
Post
for
it.
sure. It's like anything. It's like anything. If none of us knew how to ride a bike, you know, are you going to jump on the bike and just like pedal down the road away? No, there's going to be some trial and error. You're going to have to figure it out. You're not going to be very good in the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's life. That is life. It's about keeping and pushing through that, and eventually you'll be an old pro.
Yeah, that's where growth happens, right? You got to push through that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Cool. Well, before we wrap up, I just want to leave the listeners and viewers with some last gold nuggets, right? From a couple of guys here that have found such great success in this business. What would you, Morgan, say that 3 pieces of advice for agents to find success really in any market?
Yeah, I would say there are 3 pieces. You know,
Right on the
number
spot.
number one, I got to say consistency is key. Too many agents, you know, will either say, "Oh, I'm going to make 1,000 calls this week or something," and then fail before they start because they've either set their goals too high. But the reality is doing consistent daily activities. You know, so consistency, work a schedule, time block. You know, set your intentions the night before, the morning of. Put your big rocks in the bucket first, meaning those things that have to get done, and don't let being busy pull you away from doing the things you know you need to do. But the number one thing is be consistent and do the work. You know, if you're going to get out and shoot videos and you're going to schedule time, go out and do it. You know, don't get inside your own head and talk yourself out of it. You know, do the work, push through, and just keep going and be consistent and understand it's a long game. That's maybe 3 in there somewhere, but understand it's a long game. Do the work.
Yeah, and I would say goal setting is huge. And not just goal setting, but like truly committing, you know, not just saying, hey, I've got a goal of, you know, selling 20 houses this year, like truly committing to that goal and saying, I'm going to sell 20 houses this year, come hell or high water. And, but not just, you know, setting your goals, but actually writing them down and putting them in front of you, right? Like wherever your workstation is, wherever your office is, have them on your desk in front of you so that you can look at them every single day and see what you're trying to achieve. And not just like yearly goals, but I think it's really important to have weekly goals too. And you can even break it down to daily goals. You know, what's the one thing or the 2 things or the 3 things that I'm going to accomplish, I am committed to accomplishing today. You know, because like sometimes when we have a goal, a lot of times we just kind of go on how we feel like emotionally, like, oh, I'm tired today, I'm not going to go to the gym, you know, or I'm just not feeling it, you know, so I'm not going to go, you know. But if you're committed to going and you wake up and you say, hey, you know what, I know I might not feel like going to the gym, but I'm committed to going to the gym, you're going to get up and you're going to go to the gym. And so I think I know with Morgan and I, you know, there's been a few things that have really just skyrocketed our business. Number 1, it's writing goals and have them right in front of you. Number 2 is time blocking, and protecting that time, not letting, you know, there's a lot of distractions in this world, not letting people dictate what you're supposed to do with your time. You know, like, emails are one thing. Emails come in all the time. It's really easy to be like, oh, let me get back to this email. Let me get back to this email. That's everyone else in this world telling you what they want and that you're supposed to jump and respond to them right away. Instead, time block an hour of when you're going to get back to emails, and then turn your email off and go to the next activity or the next task. And then the third thing is writing down a hot sheet. This is something that is, once again, just really skyrocketed our business, where you have a sheet of paper with every buyer and seller that is going to buy and sell, do some sort of transaction with you in the next 12 months on a hot sheet. And once again, this sheet is right in front of you. It has their name, it has their time frame, it has their price point, and you can see, where your business is coming from, over the next 12 months. And every single time you meet a new prospect and you set an appointment, you add that person to that hot sheet, and then you can watch your business grow. And you're now designing, it's basically a business by design. You're being very intentional about where your next deal is coming from and who you're working with. And so you don't forget about these people. It's really easy to get distracted and be like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to call John last week. If you have the hot sheet in front of you, you're not going to forget. You're going to look at that hot sheet every day and just know what your day looks like, who you're working with, and where your next deals are coming from.
Love
There's
it.
three.
A lot of gold in this call. A lot of gold in here. So very excited. I really appreciate you guys hopping on today. I know you guys are super busy building out the team and continuing to grow, and it's been amazing to be part of that, to see the growth that you guys have had. So if any agents listening wanted to get in touch with you guys, had questions or just more information about the team, how could they do that?
Yeah, definitely. You can start by going to our website, mojoscottsdale.com. We have some information on that site about joining the team, but the easiest way too is just reach out to Josh and myself. We have a line that will ring both of us. We'd love to hear from you and talk to us. You can put that up, get that number up as well. But reach out to us. We're easy to find. Google MoJo Scottsdale. I'm sure we'll come up. We're an open book. We love agents, and we love helping agents be successful and more successful than they'd have on their own. So it's definitely a passion of ours. Yeah,
the phone number that rings us both is 480-356-5657. So you're not bothering us, give us a call. We might not answer right away just because maybe we're in the middle of answering emails or whatever the situation may be, but we'll get back to you right away and just have a good conversation with you.
Love it, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you again, and we're talking to you guys soon.
Okay,
and for those listening, we will see you in escrow. If you want more information, you can always go to roctitle.com, roctitle.com. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Justin. Take care.